Master, what is the true secret to achieving enlightenment? A young disciple asked, breaking the silence of the meditation hall. The room was dimly lit, and the fragrance of burning incense filled the air, creating a serene and contemplative atmosphere. The other disciples, seated in a circle around their revered teacher, turned their heads attentively, waiting for the master's response. The master, a wise and humble monk with a calm demeanor and eyes that seemed to see far beyond the present moment, smiled gently. He took a moment to reflect, allowing the weight of the question to settle in the room. The disciples had come to him in search of wisdom and spiritual guidance, and this question was one that lay at the heart of their quest. "Ah, enlightenment," the master began, his voice soft but resonant. "It is a profound journey that each soul must embark upon, a path filled with trials and revelations, much like climbing a great mountain. But today, I want to share with you a secret, one that is rarely spoken of, even among the wisest of monks. This secret is hidden within a text not commonly known to many, the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra." The disciples exchanged curious glances. The Vajra Pinnacle Sutra was not a text they were familiar with. They had heard of the Diamond Sutra, the Lotus Sutra, and other well-known scriptures, but this one was new to them. Their interest was piqued, and they leaned in closer, eager to hear more. "Master," another disciple spoke up, unable to contain his curiosity, "what makes this sutra so special? Why is it considered a secret?" The master nodded, acknowledging the disciple's curiosity. "The Vajra Pinnacle Sutra," he explained, "is a sacred text of esoteric Buddhism, a path that involves deep, profound practices and teachings not meant for the unprepared. It is said that this sutra contains the ultimate mystery within Buddhism, a teaching that goes beyond what is commonly known and understood. It reveals a different perspective on the path to enlightenment, one that involves not just the gradual accumulation of wisdom and merit, but something far more direct and immediate." The disciples were now fully captivated. They could sense that what the master was about to reveal was something extraordinary, something that could change their understanding of their spiritual journey. The hall was silent, save for the soft crackle of the incense burning in the corner, as the master continued. "In the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra," he went on, "there is a story about Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, and his journey to enlightenment that is unlike any other. This story isn't widely known because it is not meant to be discussed openly. It is a story that challenges the conventional narratives and offers a glimpse into the deeper, hidden aspects of the Buddha's path." The disciples listened intently, their minds racing with questions and anticipation. What could this hidden story be? How did it differ from what they had already learned? The master could see their eagerness and smiled again, knowing that the secret he was about to share would stir their hearts and minds in ways they had not yet imagined. "Prepare yourselves," he said softly, "for what I am about to share will take you deeper into the mysteries of the Buddha's teachings than you have ever gone before. It will challenge your understanding and open your eyes to the profound depths of esoteric Buddhism. Are you ready to embark on this journey?" The disciples nodded eagerly, their eyes wide with anticipation. They knew that whatever the master was about to reveal would be a turning point in their spiritual journey. They sat up straighter, their hearts open and ready to receive the wisdom of the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra. And with that, the master began to tell the tale, his voice weaving the ancient narrative that would lead them into the heart of one of Buddhism's greatest mysteries. "Today, I want to bring you on a journey into something incredibly unique, a secret that could be the ultimate hidden mystery within Buddhism. This isn't just any regular story, it's something that many wouldn't want to be shared publicly. You might be wondering why this is such a big deal. Well, what I'm about to tell you is buried within the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra. This isn't the Diamond Sutra that many of you might have heard about before. We're talking about the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra, also known by its full name, the Vajra Pinnacle of all true Buddhas, the great teaching of the King Sutra. Just hearing the name, doesn't it already sound like it's packed with deep, hidden wisdom? You might ask, what exactly is the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra? It's one of the most crucial texts in esoteric Buddhism, alongside the Mahavajrayana Sutra. These texts form the backbone of the teachings and practices within the esoteric or tantric branch of Buddhism. And here's something you must know: in esoteric Buddhism, practices aren't something you dive into without guidance. They require the direct guidance of a qualified teacher. Why? Because the practices involve secret, profound methods that can't just be understood through self-study or surface-level reading. They're like codes that need the right key to unlock. And without the proper context or guidance, discussing or teaching the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra publicly is actually not recommended. This isn't just to keep it exclusive, but because it's believed that without the right understanding, these teachings could be misunderstood or misapplied, which could lead to spiritual confusion or even danger. But let's be honest, when we hear about secrets, especially those filled with mystery and hidden wisdom, it sparks something inside us, doesn't it? It makes us curious, almost irresistibly so. And that curiosity can drive people to explore further, even when they've been advised not to. Think about it. There's something incredibly alluring about the promise of profound methods that can lead to rapid spiritual progress. This is one reason why the teachings of esoteric Buddhism are often described as profound. They offer methods that are said to allow practitioners to receive direct blessings and empowerment from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Imagine being able to achieve significant spiritual attainments quickly, perhaps even in this very life. Some say that through these teachings, you could develop supernatural powers or attain Buddhahood. Isn't that extraordinary? Now, this claim of immediate attainment stands in stark contrast to what is taught in exoteric Buddhism, also known as Sutrayana, which includes the general Mahayana and Theravada teachings. In exoteric Buddhism, the journey is seen as a gradual path that may take many lifetimes. Practitioners strive to reach the stages of an arhat or a bodhisattva within a single lifetime, but reaching Buddhahood is acknowledged to require numerous lifetimes of diligent practice, moral discipline, and the accumulation of wisdom and merit. It's a slow and steady climb up a spiritual mountain, emphasizing a step-by-step approach where one must progress through various levels of spiritual understanding and practice. However, esoteric Buddhism flips this on its head. It proposes that, under the right conditions and with the correct guidance, a practitioner could achieve Buddhahood in their current lifetime. No waiting for future rebirths. This idea is possible because of the unique methods and direct empowerment available in the esoteric tradition, which are said to dramatically accelerate spiritual development. Just think about the impact of such a belief, knowing that with the right teacher and the right methods, enlightenment could be within your reach in this life. Let's explore a story from the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra that's different from anything you've likely heard in other Buddhist scriptures. This story provides a unique perspective on the journey to Buddhahood, one that is filled with deeper insights and secrets. Many of you might already be familiar with the traditional story of how Siddhartha Gautama, later known as the Buddha, gradually cultivated himself to achieve enlightenment. This narrative is well known. He was born a prince, left his palace at the age of 29, sought spiritual awakening, studied with Brahmin sages, mastered meditation, and finally discovered the middle way after realizing that extreme asceticism was not the answer. This led him to meditate under the Bodhi tree, where he vowed not to rise until he achieved the highest wisdom and insight. After meditating for 7 days and nights, he attained enlightenment and became known as the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. But here's where the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra changes the narrative. It suggests that the widely known story of Siddhartha's journey is just a surface-level account, a layer that hides much deeper truths. Can you imagine that? According to the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra, there are many unimaginable events and hidden aspects behind the Buddha's enlightenment that are not revealed in conventional teachings. It's like discovering that there's a hidden chapter in a book you thought you knew well. The sutra presents a story set in our world, the Saha world, and introduces us to a supreme Buddha known as Vairocana Buddha, Mahavairocana. This Buddha, also referred to as Vairocana Buddha or Dainichi Nyorai in Japanese esoteric Buddhism, is described as the Dharma king of the three realms, existing beyond all concepts of time and space and embodying absolute truth. Can you feel the weight of this already? This isn't just any story. This is cosmic level stuff. The sutra goes on to describe a magnificent gathering. Picture this. Mahavarakana Buddha is there, accompanied by 4 other Buddhas, Aksobhya Buddha in the east, Amitabha Buddha in the west, Ratnasambhava Buddha in the south, and Amagasiddhi Buddha in the north. Together, these 5 form the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, each representing different aspects of the enlightened mind and contributing to a vast, cosmic vision of Mahayana Buddhist cosmology. But it doesn't stop there. Countless other Buddhas from various worlds, as numerous as the grains of sand in the Ganges, also arrive in the Saha world. Can you visualize that? An endless gathering of divine beings, all converging in one place. It's a sight that would leave anyone in awe, and there's more. Numerous bodhisattvas are also present, such as Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, Manjushri Bodhisattva, Ksitigarbha Bodhisattva, and many others. This grand assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas creates a scene so magnificent and awe-inspiring that it's hard to wrap our minds around it. It suggests that the teachings and events described in the sutra are not just ordinary, they hold profound spiritual significance that goes beyond what most can comprehend. At this point in the narrative, the focus shifts to Prince Siddhartha, who is meditating under the Bodhi tree. The Vajra Pinnacle Sutra reveals that Siddhartha has reached a stage called all-achieving Bodhisattva, indicating that he has accomplished all necessary prerequisites on his path to Buddhahood and is on the brink of complete enlightenment. But here's where the story takes a dramatic turn. Just as Siddhartha is about to cross the final threshold, all the Buddhas, led by Mahavarakana Buddha, suddenly appear, not in a physical sense but directly within Siddhartha's mind. They engage with his consciousness in a profound way. Imagine being in deep meditation, and then, suddenly, the presence of countless enlightened beings fills your mind. The Buddhas collectively address Siddhartha, saying, "Virtuous one, how do you realize supreme perfect enlightenment? Do you not know that the true nature of the Tathagata must endure all forms of ascetic practice?" This moment is critical. The Buddha's message challenges Siddhartha's previous understanding of asceticism. It implies that his earlier attempts at self-mortification were not aligned with the true nature of enlightenment. There's a deeper form of spiritual practice and endurance that he must undertake to achieve supreme perfect enlightenment, Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. It's a powerful reminder that even someone as advanced as Siddhartha had more to learn. The Buddha's teaching points to a profound realization. Deep within his consciousness, Siddhartha had not fully relinquished his attachment to the idea of asceticism as a means to enlightenment. Moreover, he had not yet fully comprehended the ultimate reality or the true nature of the Tathagata, the enlightened state of a Buddha. This story is a potent illustration of why esoteric Buddhism insists on the necessity of direct guidance from a qualified teacher. Without proper guidance, a practitioner might end up like Siddhartha in his earlier years, fumbling in the dark, not knowing the specific methods needed to achieve Buddhahood and merely performing ineffective practices. It's a cautionary tale about the importance of proper instruction and the dangers of misunderstanding advanced spiritual practices. Now, let's delve even deeper. The Vajra Pinnacle Sutra suggests that when all the Buddhas appeared to Siddhartha, they weren't just giving him external advice. No, it was far more profound than that. They were directly engaging with his innermost mind, providing a transmission of wisdom and empowerment that was intended to guide him to a deep realization of the true nature of reality. This wasn't just a mental exercise, it was a powerful, transformative experience that went to the very core of his being. And the presence of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, along with Mahavarakana, signifies something even greater. It represents a comprehensive approach to enlightenment that goes beyond conventional understanding. Each of these Buddhas represents a specific aspect of enlightenment and offers unique methods for overcoming particular spiritual obstacles. Their collective appearance in Siddhartha's meditation signifies the culmination of all possible wisdom and methods, unified in their effort to assist Siddhartha in his final steps toward Buddhahood. What's really fascinating here is that the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra isn't just giving us a new story, it's offering a different framework for understanding enlightenment itself. The sutra suggests that enlightenment isn't just about individual effort or personal spiritual practice. Instead, it's about a cosmic interplay of forces and wisdom from countless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. This perspective challenges the notion of enlightenment as a solely personal achievement and instead frames it as a universal event that involves the entire cosmic order. Can you imagine the implications of that? It's like saying that every step toward enlightenment isn't just your own journey, but it's also a dance with the cosmos itself. The mystical elements of the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra, like the sudden appearance of countless Buddhas and their direct intervention in Siddhartha's meditation, highlight the unique nature of esoteric Buddhism. These elements underscore the importance of understanding the deeper, often hidden, dimensions of Buddhist practice that aren't accessible through conventional means. It's a reminder that there's so much more beneath the surface, and that true understanding requires going beyond the ordinary. In conclusion, the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra illustrates the unique path of esoteric Buddhism, where enlightenment is achieved not just through personal effort but through a profound connection with the cosmic forces embodied by the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The teachings emphasize the necessity of proper guidance, the importance of understanding the true nature of reality, and the value of direct, experiential wisdom over theoretical knowledge. For those who are intrigued by these teachings and want to explore esoteric Buddhism further, remember that it's crucial to seek guidance from experienced teachers who can provide the necessary instruction and empowerment. The path of esoteric Buddhism is both unique and challenging, requiring dedication, insight, and proper guidance to navigate successfully. By understanding these teachings and recognizing the significance of proper guidance, practitioners can better appreciate the depth and complexity of esoteric Buddhism and its unique approach to enlightenment. So, are you ready to dive even deeper into these profound spiritual practices? What do you think? Let's embrace the mysteries of the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra and explore this fascinating journey together. As the master finished recounting the tale from the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra, a profound silence fell over the meditation hall. The disciples sat motionless, their minds and hearts absorbed in the story they had just heard. The air felt thick with contemplation, as if the walls themselves were holding their collective breath, trying to grasp the depth of the teachings. After a moment, one of the disciples, a young woman who had been listening with intense focus, raised her hand slowly. Her voice, soft yet filled with urgency, broke the silence. "Master," she began, "the story you shared is so different from what we have learned before. Why are these deeper truths kept hidden from us? Why are they not taught openly to everyone?" The master's eyes twinkled with understanding. He had expected this question. "Ah," he said gently, "this is a very important question, and I'm glad you asked. The teachings in the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra are not hidden to keep them away from sincere seekers like yourselves. Rather, they are considered advanced teachings, meant for those who have reached a certain level of spiritual maturity and readiness." He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle in. The disciples nodded, reflecting on the idea of readiness. They knew that the spiritual path required preparation, both in mind and heart. "Think of it this way," the master continued. "Imagine a beautiful flower growing in a garden. If you were to pick it too soon, before it has fully bloomed, you would miss out on its true beauty and fragrance. The teachings of the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra are like this flower. They require time, patience, and the right conditions to be fully understood and appreciated." Another disciple, an older man who had been studying under the master for many years, spoke up. "But Master, how do we know when we are ready? How do we prepare ourselves to understand these profound teachings?" The master smiled warmly, his expression one of both compassion and wisdom. "Readiness comes from within," he said. "It is cultivated through practice, humility, and a sincere heart. To be ready is not just about gaining knowledge, but about letting go of attachments, quieting the mind, and opening the heart to receive deeper wisdom." He looked around at his disciples, each one of them deep in thought. "Remember," he continued, "the path to enlightenment is not a race. It is a journey that unfolds in its own time. The story from the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra teaches us that there are many layers to the truth, many levels of understanding. What matters most is your intention and your willingness to grow. The young woman who had asked the first question nodded thoughtfully. I see, Master, she said. It's about being patient and allowing ourselves to develop naturally, without rushing or forcing understanding. Exactly, the Master replied, his face breaking into a gentle smile. Understanding the deeper teachings of Buddhism, like those in the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra, is a process. It is like slowly peeling back the layers of an onion. With each layer, we get closer to the core, to the essence of the teaching. But each layer must be peeled back carefully, with mindfulness and respect for the process. The disciples sat quietly, absorbing the Master's words. They could feel the truth in what he was saying, the importance of patience, humility, and readiness in their spiritual journey. Finally, the Master stood up, signaling the end of their session. I have shared this story with you not to overwhelm you, but to inspire you, he said softly. To remind you that there is always more to learn, always deeper truths to discover. Let this be a guide for your practice and a light on your path. The disciples bowed deeply, their hearts filled with gratitude and a renewed sense of purpose. As they slowly rose to their feet and began to leave the hall, they carried with them not just the story of the Vajra Pinnacle Sutra, but also a deeper understanding of the journey they were on, a journey that required patience, dedication, and a readiness to embrace the unknown. And as the last disciple left the hall, the Master watched them go, his heart filled with warmth and hope. He knew that they were each on their own path, each moving at their own pace. And he felt a deep sense of peace, knowing that the teachings would guide them, just as they had guided countless others before them, towards the ultimate truth and enlightenment.